In the news today, the former ACT magistrate who was selected as the National Commissioner for Defence and Veteran Suicide Prevention, Dr. Bernadette Boss, has apparently been dumped from the job. It's understood that the role could be left vacant for the next couple of years while the Royal Commission conducts its inquiry. It is unclear as to why the contract is being terminated. Joining me now, retired Special Forces Commander Heston Russell. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leon. Good to speak with you.
Thanks for joining us again. There was some controversy around the appointment of Dr. Boss in the first place, particularly from Senator Jackie Lambie, who suggested that Dr. Boss was too close to the then Minister, Linda Reynolds. Do you have a view on that?
Yeah, there are a number of layers to it. Leon, as you said correctly, there was that line, albeit dotted, with that personal relationship with Linda Reynolds, but then also there was the fact that Dr. Boss was a former reservist Army brigadier, which to those listening don't understand, a lot of these sort of issues, particularly with the key high-risk demographic of veterans who are caught up in these issues, has accompanied a mistrust with sort of senior hierarchy. So Dr. Boss, on paper and in person, is actually an excellent lady and excellent at her job and her profession, but just sort of came into this fighting uphill and wasn't best supported from the start. And she also came in as the government's alternate policy to a Royal Commission. The only thing on the table was the National Commissioner, and then with the announcement of the Royal Commission, the bill and essentially the terms of reference that would have been Dr. Boss's scope in the National Commissioner role are now enveloped within what is the current terms of reference and scope of the Royal Commission. So it's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment.
It is, and that's the difficult part, isn't it? What Dr. Boss represents was the embodiment of the government policy that veterans had rejected. So regardless of whether or not she was the right person for the job, the problem was that a lot of people didn't think that job was one that would actually address the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where it came to and going to Parliament and having the vote for the Royal Commission. Regardless of any of these personal issues or perceptions thereof, the whole thing came down to the fact that nothing short of a Royal Commission was good enough in the eyes of the veteran and family community, and that's where we're at now. Yeah,
and I guess a lot of people would have concerned there would have been some duplication of effort there, so that perhaps makes sense. But Dr. Boss has been in this role since September last year, and it's been reported that she was almost finished her initial report for the government. Is that something that may be of use to the Royal Commission?
Yeah, absolutely. And even as a part of our submissions for the terms of reference consultation, Liam, we included in there and requested Dr. Boss's work she's done so far to be able to be provided to the Royal Commission. And there's a specific term of reference that says that the National Commissioner's work is able to be submitted and included within the conduct of the Royal Commission's subsequent process.
That being the case, would it have been a good idea to let her finish that report first?
I mean, a report's a report, Leon. I'm sure she could probably actually still finish a report at the moment if she really wanted to. This can go on for a long, long time. I think the more important piece here is she had about a staff of 25 and 30 who were actually a great group. I think they were primarily a group of ladies. And the way in which they went about gathering this information, Leon, is they actually went out into these veteran areas and engaged with the veteran community and did quite well in that proactive outreach part.
Yeah.
And my particular dismay with the announcement of these terms of reference and the commissioners is the lack of proactive support or mechanisms to accompany it. I have elderly veterans out in rural areas asking how can we get help to provide our submissions, through to many veterans and family members just left going to the Royal Commission website to have a look through what the process is.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful that those 25 to 30 staff can potentially be re-rolled in a capacity that's complementary to this Royal Commission to help veterans and their families and help gather that information. And Dr. Boss can indeed potentially be, or someone like Dr. Boss, that standing National Commissioner that's going to be responsible for the implementation of the recommendations, including interim recommendations that come from this Royal Commission. So it's just very unfortunate we keep, leaping to these big decisions, but we'd love to see a bit of a a longer-term plan here, or at least anything past the next media announcement, some form of actual strategy in the implementation here.
Yeah, what you've just said to me seems to indicate that the Office of the National Commissioner was actually doing a good thing. So does that stand in good stead for the future? Presumably, obviously, the Royal Commission will have some say in whether or not the establishment or re-establishment of that office is or is not a desirable thing. But it sounds on the face of it that probably is a desirable thing.
Yeah, I think it really is, Leon, because a big part of this is just the inability otherwise for current or former serving defence members to be able to speak out on key topics outside of going to the Ombudsman. And this Royal Commission is specifically focused on suicide, but there are many other systemic issues that do need addressing. Yeah. And the role of the National Commissioner was definitely a great policy. It was just the cart. It was the cart before the horse, because it's definitely, I believe, going to be a recommendation to come from the Royal Commission. We've just now, because it was caught in political policy as opposed to pragmatic action, is sort of caught in this limbo period. And unfortunately, Dr. Boss and her staff are other people literally caught in the middle.
Yeah, and we've been talking about the issue of veteran suicides for quite some time now, but if previous Royal Commissions are anything to go by, it may turn out that some of the more important things to emerge from the Royal Commission may be things that we haven't been talking about yet and only emerge during the course of the investigation. Do you think that's likely?
Oh, absolutely. There is, within the veteran and family community, there's a lot that we already know that, again, like you've heard me say before, if the previous minister was holding his department accountable, we wouldn't be at this place. But there's going to be a lot that spans across defence and across DVA to come out of this. I guess one key point here is that now there is the clarity for veterans and families to only engage with the Royal Commission, not with the Interim Commissioner alongside that, which was a point of contention and confusion. But there is going to need to be this ongoing National Commissioner role from this Royal Commission. I'm 100% certain. I think that would be a fantastic capability moving forward.
Thanks very much for chatting today.
Pleasure. Thanks for the conversation, Leon.
Thank you.